Hello and welcome to a special International Seismic Cinema podcast. So put your feet up on that cool Jedi statue in the middle of the Jeddah desert, grab some kyber crystals and prepare to watch all your favourite characters die within the next hour.
Nice improv intro call.
It wasn't improv, I sat and was writing it just while I was preparing. So I'm Colin. My screen name is Borgullet for this episode. If you know, you know. And Paul, what have you got there?
Sergeant Melshi representing this Scottish officer from Rogue One. And with us today is we've got a returning guest, Daniel, who has done all our artwork and helped us over the month starting, and he's returning. So he's done The Gentleman, he's done top 90s, top 10 90s movies, and many more. And that's him back for another appearance.
Well, thanks for having me back on.
No, good to have you. Good to have you, bud.
It feels awfully nostalgic to me having Daniel back on.
It's been a while.
And we also have a special guest from across the pond. We have Raphael, aka the Geeky Dad, aka the Good Pods phenomenon.
Hello, everybody, from New York, right here.
Yeah, super excited to have you on. It's a real surreal experience having somebody on you only really listen to like in your earphones and you listen to our content. It's just really weird having you on and speaking to you, but it's really good to have you on.
It's the same. You know, I listen to you too, and it's like, you know, I haven't seen most of your videos, so this is the first time I actually like see you up close. You know, like,
it can only disappoint.
No, you guys are very handsome chaps.
Well, Daniel and Paul are anyway. Paul, you actually look proper starstruck there.
It's because I am, mate. Because I am. Yeah. Because I've listened to. Because I think actually, Raphael actually listened to us first on Good Pods because he kept appearing, like reviewing our stuff. I was like, I'll have a wee look at his, and I think the first one I caught was, I can't remember which one it was, but I think it was maybe your Doctor Strange one.
Oh, okay.
With the Multiverse Kids, and I just thought it was brilliant, and been kind of hooked ever since. And your other show, the Geeky Dad After Dark, with the Geeky Wife.
Yeah, thank you.
That's my dog on cue. Yeah, the Geeky Dad After Dark with the Geeky Wife. She's hilarious as well. So yeah, it's been really good. And since we're just starting off, I just want to see if you want to plug your content, so I've not been gushing too much.
Yeah, well, you know, a lot of my shows, my co-stars usually take the spotlight more than me, so it's like I'm not really the star of anything. You know, I'm just the ringleader, like the guy in the circus telling everybody what to do. I just stay in the background. Yeah. You know, not as handsome as Hugh Jackman though. No.
That's what kind of Colin does to me. Kind of keeps me in check, so I don't go off on a tangent.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I mostly started listening to you guys because I get tired of listening to Americans talk. So I like to listen to people like from across the pond. I like the voices that, you know, your accents and stuff like that. So I listen to a lot of guys from Australia, England, Scotland, all over the place usually, you know.
Yeah, it's good to get a good wee mix of people on your playlist. I'm not sure ours is that exciting right enough.
It's really weird sitting in Dunoon speaking to somebody who's in New York. It's like, surely you've got a lot cooler things you could be doing in New York than talking to us.
New York is not as cool as people make it out to be.
It's quite warm, yeah. I went a couple of summers ago myself.
Yeah. I actually don't like Times Square and all that stuff. I like to keep away from all that big crowd.
Yeah, you would if you lived there. Yeah, we forgot to mention at the start, because we're terrible at introducing ourselves, that we are, as you put it, we're a Scottish podcast, so we're going to get that Scottish audience into, or the Scottish lovers.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're right excited.
Yes.
Well,
You're even wearing the strip, Paul.
no.
Melshi, come on.
Daniel, you want to promote your bar?
You have a bar?
Well, not really. I work in a bar and restaurant called The Croft. It's in the south side of Glasgow.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a really nice place. Good food, friendly atmosphere. Yeah, kind of put me on the spot there, Paul. Thanks for that.
Okay.
I recently had a comic book writer from Glasgow on my show, John Lees. I don't know if you ever heard of him before. He just signed a movie deal with one of his recent comic books.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
I need to listen to that episode. I've not heard that one.
Yeah, it's in one of my episodes. I mean, he'd love to probably get some extra attention. So, I mean, if we can hook you up with him, maybe we can get him on your show.
Oh.
Yeah, because it was hard to set up the time difference. I think it'd be easier with somebody from his side of the hemisphere, maybe.
Yeah, definitely hook us up. That sounds like a good opportunity.
Yeah.
I don't know. We usually deal in negative publicity. Usually, once we appear on somebody's show or something, it just goes downhill.
Yeah.
Right.
Wait, before this goes any further downhill, I'll take on my role of getting us started with the purposeful content of the episode. So, this podcast is all about, well, two things. We're going to talk about Andor, which is coming out on Wednesday, a triple header. And we're also going to look back at Paul's favourite Star Wars film, Rogue One, because obviously that's where Andor originated. And just always good to have a chance to go back. We've not actually reviewed a Star Wars film yet, Paul. We've talked about the shows and we've ranked the films, but we've not actually went into focus on one in particular. I'd also just like to remember... What's that, Paul?
It's because the episodes will last for days.
Yes. Just before I forget, I'd like to say thanks to the 4 new subscribers we've got on YouTube. That's been our biggest bit of growth in months. So thank you to you guys. Thanks for listening in. So Andor, who wants to start us off? How much are we looking forward to this show?
I'm looking forward to it a lot because, it looks like a very serious show. Most of the past couple of Star Wars shows kind of toe the line between funny and serious sometimes. It kind of feels like it's like Marvelized a little bit. That's just me. I don't know if you feel the same, but this one actually feels like a solid story, like a deep story, and it looks like it's keeping the tone of the movie, which I liked. That's good.
Yeah,
right.
And a lot of the actors as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because is it Genevieve O'Reilly is coming back as Mon Mothma?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, love that we get to see more of her.
Yeah, and Forrest, because she was obviously Mon Mothma in Rogue One, but she was also in a Revenge of the Sith deleted scene.
Well, as a different actress, though, right?
No, the actress that's in Rogue One and Andor played Mon Mothma in a Revenge of the Sith deleted scene.
Okay.
Where the rebellion was getting formed, like Padme was at the meeting. So I think if you get a Revenge of the Sith DVD, you could probably watch the scene.
Jesus, Colin, you sound like you know what you're talking about.
That's my fun, that's my fun fact for this evening.
Why would they cut that scene? That seems like a good scene.
It is, but I kind of get it. That film was more about Anakin's fall, maybe not so much the rebellion. Maybe they knew they were going to make Andor in the future, so they were like, "We'll save it for then."
Foresight.
Yeah. So, what about you, Daniel? What are your thoughts and hopes for this series?
I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait. I think it will be, like Raf said, a kind of serious show, and it'll be good to have a fresh kind of perspective on a Star Wars story. So it'll be something new and refreshing, I think, for all the Star Wars fans, and I think it will deliver.
Oh, well, it can't fail now. Daniel's back the film to the show to the hilt. So, well, we've started a new tradition this year. I came to yours for the first 2 episodes of Kenobi, and we've just made plans to hang out on Wednesday and watch the Rogue One, not Rogue One, the Andor triple header. So I think from our conversations, you're quite hyped about this show coming out.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just like kind of echoing Daniel and Rafa. I think this is going to be like amazing. I think it's going to be like way better than Obi-Wan, Boba Fett. Like it's been like Rafa was saying, like the other shows have been like kind of like campy in places when it shouldn't have been, and I think this one's going to be like kind of deep and dark. The cast looks really, really good. Like I think Stellan Skarsgård's amazing, and to kind of hook him down for a kind of TV show, I think it's just gonna, I think it's gonna rock. Yeah. But if you're coming in on Wednesday, don't be like you are at the Obi-Wan premiere and just saying, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god," for the first 10 minutes.
I think that was different because that show was so ingrained in the prequels, and the first scene was Order 66. So yeah. I'm not going to.
There's even the recap. There's even the recap that you're just like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, but that was really cool. I don't have like the emotional connection to the Rogue One era. Like, despite enjoying the film, don't worry, I won't be as a fanboy at this one. I'm definitely not going to be like that now that you've basically told me I'm not allowed to be. So thanks for ruining my enthusiasm.
I mean, the only thing I think that I might be disappointed in, I heard that K2SO is not going to show up this season. Mm-hmm. I think next season.
I kind of like
that. I kind of want to see him like in this season a little bit, maybe as a bad droid, and then like set it up at the end, like him changing it over. But I guess they're saving that for the second season, you know.
All right.
Yeah.
Gives you something to look forward to, I suppose.
Yeah.
That'd be quite good, actually. Some sort of mission where he has to acquire K for some kind of higher purpose or something like that. That'd be quite good.
Right. Yeah.
So we've talked about.
Do you think we're gonna see any like Inquisitors?
Oh.
I don't know. I feel like they were the weakest part of Obi-Wan personally.
Or any like runaway Jedi or anything, like anybody with a lightsaber. You think anybody's gonna show up?
I think they'll keep away from that.
I think so too. Yeah.
Because Rogue One wasn't all about the Jedi, and it was just about the Resistance. So I think they'll try and stay away from that aspect of the show.
Yeah, I agree. I think they'll just it'll all be people on the ground.
Although it still had the best lightsaber scene in history, right?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, amazing.
Yeah.
It's like you have been reading our notes. Our first wee activity after the Andor preview was to talk about the Easter eggs and the cameos we thought might appear. So we could even just continue having that discussion.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I usually fanboy about. I love Easter eggs. That's just me.
So do you think Vader will appear?
I don't. Maybe on a monitor, like somebody's gonna see him or something. I maybe Palpatine, I think, might show up.
Tarkin,
I think, might show up.
Yeah.
I may be a bit of a budget killer of having CGI Tarkin.
I know who Paul wants to show up.
Who?
Director Krennic.
Oh wow. Yeah, it's very possible.
Yeah, I was watching that this morning, and I was like, it's a damn fine performance.
Well, we're predicting, but there's obviously ones that we already know are appearing. So have you all watched the trailers?
Yeah.
So who do we know that we've already spoken about? Mon Mothma. I think she's going to play quite a big part in the show. But who else?
I think Saw Gerrera is going to show up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if he'll be as over the top as he was in Rogue One.
Yeah, maybe before he had that like cybernetic apparatus. Before that.
Yeah. It was weird seeing him in Rogue One. Like, I'd never seen. So when I seen Rogue One, I hadn't seen Clone Wars, and it was weird seeing him being like normal in the Clone Wars, and then seeing him
and
in
young, right? So young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in Rebels, and he looks a bit more like. I think in Rebels he looks a bit more like he does in Rogue One.
Okay. I think he was also in Bad Batch.
Yeah, briefly.
Yeah, he popped up in Bad Batch.
Yeah.
Just
Well, you know, I saw a deleted scene with in Rogue One where he didn't have all that stuff hooked up to him. He looked completely different. I think they totally changed the whole scene completely.
Huh. That's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Maybe that's when they decided to add in the Borgullet.
Yeah.
There was a lot of changes, I think. Obviously, when we'll talk about that a bit more later, but there was obviously a lot of reshoots for Rogue One, and I think he actually just did look different in the earlier cuts, and that's where because I think the trailer showed him looking one way, and then the film another.
Yeah. There's a lot of scenes in the trailer that's not in the movie.
Yeah, yeah. It would have been interesting to see, because I don't even think the deleted scenes are on the DVD, are they? For the actual kind of other movie, as you were.
I don't think it's ever been
I don't
released.
think so.
No.
Interesting to see.
I did see a YouTube video where they like gather up all of the scenes together, and they talked about it, but that's about it. It's quite
nice.
Yeah. So in terms of what's happening in the show from the trailers, obviously I think I've heard this shows like different periods of Cassian's life. So we start off with him as a young boy.
Yeah.
And we know from Rogue One his parents were separatists, and then I think this will obviously show how he joins the rebellion, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Because he's been in this fight since he's 6 years old.
Because there's another famous actor in this, Fiona Shaw, aka Aunt Petunia from Harry Potter. She's in this. She's in the trailer.
Yeah.
I have no idea who that is.
Aunt Petunia, Harry Potter. Harry's adopted aunt.
The one that was rotten to him.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah.
Oh, the one that locked him under the stairs.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, got you.
Well, she's in this. She looks a lot older now, but I think I've heard she's playing Cassian's like adopted parent. So again, another adopted.
Well, she's gonna treat him like shit too.
Yeah.
Cassian's gonna have a futuristic cupboard.
Maybe she put him in the under the stairs as well.
Yeah, I don't really know what the plot's going to be. It's obviously about the foundations of the rebellion, but we've seen that in various places. Like, it's a big part of the plot line of Rebels as well. Yeah.
Well, I think it'll delve more into his backstory quite a lot, because I think he has got quite a rich backstory. I was actually listening to the Moisture Farm report. They just released one on Wednesday there about kind of Cassian Andor's backstory. I've only listened to half of it so far, but it was talking about how he started off as a separatist, and his dad got hanged at a protest or something at a university, and his mum died young. But I think it's going to go back into his backstory and then kind of follow his journey through. I think it'll be really gritty, but really good.
Yeah.
I think Jimmy Smits might show up.
It's possible,
yeah.
The eternal Jimmy Smits.
Yeah.
I've heard people say there might be a young Jin appearance, or maybe Galen or so as well.
Maybe, but then I don't know. I think it would maybe cheapen Rogue One because like they all act as if they've never met each other before.
And it'd be a wee bit like young Leia again, wouldn't it? If you've got a young Jin running about.
Yeah, especially if she's with Saw. Well, maybe she might be with Saw. Possibly.
Possible, yeah.
I mean, Daniel, think anything will pop up?
Andor never met her before that, anyhow.
I would like the idea of maybe Han Solo and Chewie showing up, maybe briefly. But I think that's reaching.
Yeah, I don't think I'd like that. No.
I'm just trying to think who else. There's quite a lot of new characters though. There's the blonde female officer. I don't know what their name is yet, but she's quite prominent in the trailers.
Yeah.
And there's Skarsgård's character. Looks like he's going to be quite important as well.
Yeah. I just love the way he says Cassian Andor.
You think we'll see any of the clone troopers?
I hope so.
There's clones in the first scene of the trailer.
Maybe we'll see the transition.
Yeah, well, that's obviously started in Bad Batch as well.
Yeah.
By the way, I get caught. I do a Star Wars club at my school. I teach at a secondary school, and I didn't realize there was a bad word in the trailer. I got caught out badly.
Yeah, what does it say?
Battle of the Bees, Paul.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah,
yeah.
Yes, I got caught out there. So, right, let's give one big prediction each before we look back on the wonderful world of Rogue One, because I don't feel. Do you agree? I don't think the trailer gives a lot away in terms of plot. It's more just Cassian grown up, Cassian joining the rebellion, and the kind of. It reminds me a bit of. Have you seen the third and fourth Hunger Games movies?
No.
A long time ago.
Ages ago, yeah.
It reminds me of that. I think it's the uniforms as well. Like, you know that scene where there's like a jail? It looks a bit like the Camino kind of corridor. There's like a jail and there's loads of people in like white jumpsuits.
Oh yeah. I thought it was like a Camino facility at first, and then I seen it was a jail.
It just kind of reminds me a bit of the later Hunger Games films for some reason. Anyway, that's just me. So, Paul, what's a big prediction of yours? Something you think, an Easter egg or a cameo or just a plot point, something that we can look back on and say Paul's a genius?
Cassian won't die in this series.
Right, okay. That's a bit boring, but okay.
What prediction? I'm going to say he's going to have a love interest that gets killed at the end and makes some full-on rebellion.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see
any?
Yes,
I can see that happening. Yeah.
Because you can't have him going his whole life without somebody to care about.
Well, him and Jin got a bit cozy towards the end of Rogue One.
Yeah.
But that's 10 seconds in the elevator before they got blown to smithereens.
Vaporized.
There could have been a deleted scene.
Yeah. They lived in the first cut.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure I heard that, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Raphael, what's your big... By the way, you've had like 3 variations in your name so far. Daniel called you Raph. Paul called you Rafa. I'm staying formal here.
Just call me Ninja Turtle. All right.
The nerdy father.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good title for a show.
You should write that down.
Somebody should copyright that right now.
Copyright Seismic Cinema.
The nerdy father.
The nerdy father, what's your big prediction for Andor that we can look back on?
Well, I think we might see like Leia as a much smaller than what we saw in Obi-Wan. I think we're gonna see that. especially with Jimmy Smith's character. She'll probably be playing in the background while he's on a phone or, some kind of message thing, But I probably think I can guarantee that's probably gonna happen, And I think they might have, they might have a clone trooper show up in a cameo as well.
I think that seeing the trailer, there definitely is clone troopers.
No, but without the mask, the same actor that played Boba Fett.
Like a Tamura Morrison, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can beat the one that was begging for credits on the street in Obi-Wan.
Maybe you'll see his origin in this one.
the beggar clone, a Star Wars story.
Yeah.
Right, Daniel, what's your big takeaway prediction?
Oops.
Whoa.
Sorry. Dropped my phone. I'm not sure. I think you'll maybe meet someone that he cares about and maybe lose them, which might push him more towards, the rebellion. I know, obviously, you'll have a story prior to that leads into that, but it might be you might have a bigger push. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it that much.
So basically, Daniel, you stole my idea.
But no, I mean, I'm just kind of, I'm just going with what you're going, what your prediction is. I mean, I think I'm just wanting to go in blind, have no expectations, and just enjoy it for what it is. See how it goes.
Yeah, true.
I've got 3 predictions. One, Paul will get annoyed at me for getting overly excited about something that happens in the show.
Just don't grab my hand.
Yep. 2, Star Wars fans will get annoyed at something that happens in the show.
They always do.
That's guaranteed.
Be more specific. Those prisoners are going to break out of prison. There you go.
That's your big prediction.
I don't really have. I feel like it's not a show that. I feel like we've seen where Cassian ends. So in terms of like big reveals, I just think it's going to be. I think it's going to be heavy on the politics, which I'm all for, and I think it's going to be a kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like espionage. We can already see from the trailer he's going to break in. How they don't recognize him when he continuously breaks in dressed as an Imperial officer, I won't understand. I also don't understand how the stormtroopers didn't recognize Obi-Wan because surely they just saw a picture of him or a hologram of. Sorry, I'm just ranting because I started rewatching Obi-Wan.
You're starting to sound like me, Mr. Cynical.
Yeah, do you know that bit when Obi-Wan gets, spoilers for Obi-Wan, when he gets on that trailer and he's sitting right across from them? They've been sent there to look for him. Why do they not know what it looks like?
There's a lot of things that didn't make sense in Obi-Wan.
It's still good though.
The logic meter was very low in that whole series.
I've started rewatching it ahead of Andor, and all the scenes with Ewan McGregor are brilliant. I really enjoy the young Leia scenes. It's all the stuff with the Inquisitors I think let it down.
I agree. I mean, it definitely could have been better, but I did have fun with Obi-Wan, but it definitely could have been better. It's still better than the Boba Fett show.
Yeah, if the Grand Inquisitor had been the main villain out with Vader, I think it'd have been better because I think Reva, although the character got better, seeing the first couple of episodes, rewatching it, she's still just so
like one note.
You can't escape, Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And she's like, come out, wherever you are. It's like,
I don't think they utilised the Inquisitors, as well as they could have. They could have made them the central kind of antagonist of the show, made it a lot more interesting, but they never done that. So
her ending just doesn't make sense. But sorry, I'm usually the one that keeps us on track. I went off on a right tangent about Obi-Wan, so I think that's a good way to transition into what I'm sure Paul in particular has been looking forward to, is our Rogue One retrospective, and yes, we're going to keep mentioning the term retrospective because it helps make sense of why we're reviewing Rogue One in 2022, but also it just sounds like something a YouTuber / podcaster would say when discussing an older movie. So it's also got alliteration, so it's got a lot going for it.
Did you just do a segment on retrospective?
You said at the start we should really big up the fact it's a retrospective review.
I just said it was a
A
nice word.
retrospective Rogue One review. That's great alliteration.
Oh,
Well,
Colin,
I feel
never
like-
change.
I won't change. You can put that in the best man speech. So I see if you don't do my best man speech like a Seismic Cinema podcast, you failed.
So lots of and dead noise.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Paul should kick this one off because Paul is Rogue One's #1 fan. So start us off.
Okay. Everybody in unison, just tell me how amazing Rogue One was and why. Okay.
It was okay. No, it was great. It was great. It was great.
Raph was kind of breaking up on us, so sorry. You need to leave us.
I think it would be good to have a balanced discussion about the movie, though, because no movie's perfect.
How
Right.
dare you? Right,
No,
okay.
it felt like the Guns of Navarone. Have you ever seen that movie?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
yeah? Dirty
Seen that years
Dozen.
ago, yeah.
It's like Star Wars meets the Dirty Dozen, the Guns of Navarone. Like in old school, everybody goes on a mission and they all die. That's been done before, and it's that's what it felt like to me.
Yeah, it's like a World War II, like Vietnam kind of heist kind of movie, wasn't it?
Oh, the bridge over River Kwai. That's what it felt like. You
Well,
ever seen one?
that film's referenced in that show Jack Whitehall does with his dad.
Yeah.
Do you know Jack
Also-
Whitehall?
Also, Obi-Wan's in that as well.
Yes.
Alec Guinness.
Yes, he is. He's a total bastard in that one.
Right, so I think I'll be the devil's advocate guy here, and one of the big criticisms of Rogue One, not big criticisms, that's probably unfair, is that maybe we didn't get to know some of the characters that well for their demises to be as powerful as they were. Discuss.
I could agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, we mostly focus on Jin and Andor, mostly. The other characters not so much.
So what characters did you like? So you can't repeat. This is me. This is the teacher and me coming out, but you can't repeat what someone else has said. So we'll go for Daniel first. Daniel, what was one of the standout characters for you from Rogue One?
The standout, I would say, Jin and I'm sorry, I've got it on just now, so I'm looking at it and watching. It was just a refresher. I would say I can't remember. Is it Donnie
Yen?
Donnie Yen? So what was his character's name?
Charette or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think he really stood out as well. He was a really cool character. I liked him.
Yeah,
Don't feel bad at him.
What's that?
He's quite funny as well.
Yeah.
I was actually sad when he died. Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought having that element of the Force being in it, but not actually seeing it, so it kind of gives that kind of, from the character's perspective, that kind of mysticism, because obviously none of these characters that actually know, I've probably never met a Jedi and stuff like that. So it was kind of cool to see that way.
Yeah.
Gives that kind of mystery.
So Daniel's a fan of Jin and Shiru, and I don't feel bad if you forget their names. I think I include myself in that because I thought another character's name was a different name, and if someone mentions him, I'll reveal what I got wrong. Me and Paul were talking about this just beforehand. So, Raphael, what's out with those two? Is there any other characters that stood out for you from Rogue One?
Oh, definitely K2SO. Yeah, I was sad when he got shut up. I was like, why can't they download his consciousness somewhere, rebuild him somewhere?
Don't put him into the Millennium Falcon. That's already been done.
Yeah, put him in another robot's body or something.
He's definitely in the top 3 Star Wars robots, and that's a great idea for a ranking, Paul. You should write that down.
I'll write it on my imaginary notepad.
I've got one. So we've got a K2SO vote, and Paul, you're our second last up.
Yeah. Well, since my top 2 picks are gone already. Yeah. But I did love K. Like, K was just he just got all the best lines. He just stole every scene he was in, didn't he?
Did you know that wasn't me?
I'll just stay in this ship then. So, you know what? I'm just going to say, Director Krennic.
Deploy the garrisons. Does he actually say that? Or did I misquote that?
It does say that, yeah. I think his performance was really even from when he first lands on the planet and speaks to Galen, he gives us quite a kind of deceptive performance, and he's also not afraid to do some of the dirty work. He goes off to the data vault with his own guards to find out what's going on, and he's just ruthless for his own ambition. And me, I'm quite a stickler for the Empire, so I went for Director Krennic.
I like his costume, and I like that he's got a white cape.
Easily pleased.
It just really makes him stand out. So I've drawn the short straw here, so I need to choose someone that's none of those people who's still interesting. Bor Gullet.
That was just weird, eh?
And I wouldn't want you to lose your mind. Right, who can I go for?
I mean, technically, you could pick Darth Vader if you want.
No, that's a bit boring. I'm going to go for a CGI Grand Moff Tarkin.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think they can redo that scene. They can make that look a lot better now.
It's still good.
Yeah, I don't think at the time it was that bad, but when you look at it now, you can see a huge, difference. Could really improve.
See if you're a young kid who doesn't have a clue who Grand Moff Tarkin is or who Peter Cushing is, you probably wouldn't really have noticed.
Right.
Probably. See if we were 10 years old watching that, would you have known that was a fake person?
No.
No.
I still think he looks better than how he looked in Revenge of the Sith. Because he looked like he had prosthetics, right?
It was awful. Awful.
No, it's mad to think that was 5.5 years ago that Rogue One came out. Mad, and it still looks damn good. The third act just looks brilliant.
Was it not December 2016 it came out?
Because it was around Christmas time.
Force Awakens came out in 2015, and Rogue One came out the Christmas after, if I'm remembering correctly.
All right, 5.5 years ago then.
Yeah, I think it would be. Sorry, I like to be very specific. So I'm going to be Paul for a second. Again, actually, I'm turning into Paul. Why did he park so far away at the start of the film?
Because Galen Erso could have booby-trapped the homestead.
Okay. So you're not unrelated, but related note. Did anyone else find Lyra really annoying? I thought she ruined everything. Or was that part of the trial?
She wasn't really in it that much, I didn't think. Really.
No, but she just ran in all gung ho and then just starts firing at people. It's surely that wasn't the plan.
Oh. She only got one shot off, and it's because the Death Trooper shot her.
Wasn't there like a hint that she was gonna be like had force sensitivity?
I heard about that. Yeah,
Oh, I never heard that.
glad that didn't happen.
Mhm. Maybe that was in the original cut. Who knows?
Yeah.
Can I just say one word that we'll all definitely agree? It's not only one word, but one statement. Is Scarif not just one of the coolest planets we've ever seen and a great holiday destination?
Yes, it was nice. All the palm trees and everything.
It's on my telly right now, so it was.
That was
Especially-
actually a great scene, though, with those walkers coming through there. That was one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah, I'd agree on that.
I think finish off on a positive, but I think as movie critics, it's important to give a balanced review. Paul, we'll start with you because you do love this so much. But is there anything? Because I can think of a few things personally. Is there anything you didn't think was that good in the film, or could have been better?
I didn't like the Borg gullet, but I thought that was really unnecessary and just weird. Didn't like that. But other than that, like I feel like it's pretty much like I loved all the action set pieces in it. I really liked the interactions between the characters. The only maybe a wee bit on Jeddah, it felt a wee bit kind of strung out a wee bit when they're getting taken prisoner and stuff. But other than that, I really enjoyed it the first time I watched it, and even watching it today, I still enjoyed it. And they pick up on wee things you didn't really notice before, but like people like characters' names and stuff. But just love it. I just love it. Just love all the action.
So
And I know that me when you were talking about the bad stuff, but it was only the Borg gullet that was bad for me.
yeah, I've got a few things, and I don't want to come across as negative about the film because I really do like the film, and it's in my top. I'd probably say it's in my top 5 Star Wars films, but I think it is important to give that wee bit of overall view. So, Raphael, was there anything that you didn't like as much about this film?
I mean, I wanted to see a little bit more of some of the characters. You know, that's about it. I don't know which of the scenes were actually directed by the original director or the other director, but I thought they meshed it all pretty well. You know, it feels cohesive. Surprisingly, you can't even tell that it was like redone by a different person.
Who was the original director? Because it was obviously Gareth Edwards.
Yeah.
But I've always heard this name, Tony Gilroy, mentioned. Like, that
he's
really
working on the show too, isn't he? Tony
Yeah.
Gilroy? Yeah. I think he did the Born one of the Born movies. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking for. We'll maybe find out more when they release the Andor behind the. Did any of you watch the Obi-Wan behind the scenes documentary on Disney Plus?
Oh, I didn't get a chance to, but I wanted to.
It's worth a watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it last week. It was pretty good.
It's quite emotional, Daniel, isn't it?
Yeah, it was.
So Daniel, was there anything Rogue One wise, anything you think didn't quite work for you?
No, I thought it was fairly well rounded. There wasn't any particular part I didn't enjoy. I liked it all. I can't really fault it, to be honest.
Why am I going to be the negative one in this episode? This is very uncharacteristic. But it's not.
Did you like CGI Leia?
I didn't mind it.
At the time, I thought it seemed okay at the time. I think I was just shocked because I went to go see it in the cinema. It was a midnight showing, so probably hopped up on coffee and tired. But I think it was just seeing that shock. It's, oh my god, it's Leia. So I mean, she did look good at the time, but I think going back and watching it now, you can see the faults. But I still like that. Still like seeing her part.
The hope line was a bit cheesy, wasn't it?
Yeah, they had to fit that in somewhere.
It almost felt like Q and A New Hope coming up.
Oh, did we not, we went to see this in Glasgow together, didn't we?
I don't think so.
I think we did.
Have you ever done the double feature, watching Rogue One and then watching A New Hope back to back?
I've done it, and it does enhance it, I think.
Mhm.
Oh, did we do that?
No, I don't know if we did, Paul, but we did go and see Rogue One together because I've actually got pictures of us in the cinema, so stop lying. We are friends.
All right, okay. Also, I think we did the back-to-back. We did the Star Wars marathon.
Yeah, we might have done them. I think it really does enhance it, and I really think it might be a slightly controversial opinion, but I think the Obi-Wan Leia stuff in Obi-Wan, I think that enhances New Hope or makes you see it in a different light. I think the Obi-Wan stuff does.
Right. Well, we were talking about the negatives there. What would be your favourite scene?
Oh, can I mention my negatives first?
What? More?
I haven't really mentioned them yet. I was just kind of holding off. I was just chairing the committee. They're not actually. Most of them aren't really specific faults to this show. It was the branding of the Star Wars story. I think the lack of the opening theme was a big. Paul's giving me a funny look here. I don't know what he's doing. What's he doing?
It's my look of disappointment in you.
No, I think the lack of the opening theme, the decision to not have the classic Star Wars opening theme with the Star Wars stories, I don't think was the right decision. But I also think, see the way they did it in this film, where they showed you the name of the place as they arrived at it. Although that was good for telling you where you were, I thought, and Raphael's mentioned this earlier, I thought it was a wee bit marvelly. It was like something maybe you'd seen like Guardians of the Galaxy, the way they introduced the different planets that they went to.
I think we lost him.
He's just hanging out with the dogs.
Sorry. my dog has decided that he wants to really want a walk just now. He's just trying and barking at me.
You can wait for another 15 minutes or something. So yeah, it was. I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of the just giving the names of the planets. I thought that was a wee bit didn't feel Star Warsy. Normally in Star Wars, you never know what the planets are called. You refer to them as the grass planet or the water planet, and then some of them eventually stick. But that was just. I'm ruining the Rogue One love-in, so let's just get on to the good stuff.
Yes. Right. Who wants to start off? Daniel or Rafa? Who wants to go first? What's your favourite scene? Or the favourite part?
I'm gonna go with Darth Vader's scene. I can't.
That would be mine as well.
I mean, that's almost everybody, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I was gonna say probably like I love the Darth Vader scene. It was just I was like going into it. I'd heard like there wasn't going to be any lightsabers in it at all. So I thought when we seen Vader on the bridge, I thought that was it until A New Hope. I didn't think we'd see him. So it was a real surprise and a real treat to see him like that. But I actually liked the like parts in the third act, like cinematography wise, when ships are getting shot out of the sky and then they hit the ground, and then it goes straight into the ground action.
I know what you're talking about. One shot.
Yeah, like kind of one shot transition.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really, really smart. Really smart directing, really smart camera work, and just shots like that, and like the shots of the scale of the Death Star. Like when the dish is getting put in the Death Star, and you just see the small, tiny Star Destroyers. I thought shots like that just really, really nailed the film for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Was it Gareth Edwards that was in? No. Yeah. Was it Gareth Edwards that was one of the like Death Star gunners?
I think so.
He's got a cameo in that bit.
Yeah.
So, despite what I was saying earlier, I was just trying to figure. Was that Paul?
Wasn't it Ryan Johnson that was the Death Star gunner?
And then Gareth Edwards was in Last Jedi in the trenches.
He was in Crate.
something like
I
that.
mean,
wasn't it?
you don't find it odd that he hasn't directed anything since?
He's a good director as well. Or Gareth Edwards or Ryan Johnson?
Gareth Edwards. I don't think he has, right?
Was he Godzilla before that, wasn't he?
Yeah, he did Godzilla before this.
Maybe he just finished on a high.
I wonder like what kind of like pressure they gave him to like reshoot that movie. Like what was so bad about that original cut? You know?
Yeah.
I really like am so curious to see what that original cut is. I mean, I heard rumors like does a Jen and Andor escape in a TIE fighter at the end so they don't die. I mean, you kind of see that scene in the original trailer when you see like Jin confronting a TIE fighter.
Yeah.
Catwalk.
Yeah. And I think that was supposed to be Andor inside of that. And they escape together.
Just because it's on my TV right now, I think a character that deserves a shout out is Admiral Radis.
Yeah.
The Mon Calamari.
Mm-hmm.
He was the only one up for the fight.
Despite what I was just trying to create a bit of debate, but generally I think once they get to Scarif and the ground battle and the space battle and the character deaths, I think the last third is some of the kind of peak Star Wars, and it's not quite up there for Return of the Jedi's ending, but it's one of the toppers anyway.
Yeah. I also like the little like Easter eggs with they had of Rebels. I think we saw Chopper, right?
Yeah.
And we saw the Ghost.
And Hera's name's mentioned over the tannoy.
Right. Yeah.
And the hangar as well.
General Syndulla.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite scene, the Vader scene is awesome, yes. My favorite scene is actually when Jin and Cassian are Jin's given the speech at the Rebel meeting, and it's like, what chance do we have? It's more like, what choice? And then Andor's doing the speech about he's been in this fight since he was 6 years old. I'm a big fan of a rousing speech, and I think there was a lot of good emotive speeches in Rogue One as well. And I really like the dynamic between Jen and her dad and the space voicemail, space video call. Yeah, quite a tragic film, really, when you think about it.
I mean, a lot of Star Wars is about daddy issues, huh?
The idea we had, I'm hearing my voice echoing on someone's computer now. I can't work out who's, I don't know. Do you know that way I could hear my own voice like reflected off someone else's video? I'm not sure. A wee idea we had for the end of the podcast was a very cheery ending to a very cheery episode was between the four of us to rank the following character deaths. Not in order of enjoyment, but order in terms of how like epic it was or how dramatic. So I've got Andor / Jin, or Andor and Jin, because they were together. We've got Baze, who I accidentally called Blaze earlier. So again, some of the characters don't get a lot of screen time. So he's the guy. He's Shiru's pal with the big gun. There's the pilot, Bodhi Rook, and there's Shiru, and there's K2SO. So we're not talking about favourite because that'd be very morbid, but in terms of who had the best, most memorable death. So I think we're better starting at the bottom or the top.
I think Donnie Yen's death was more memorable.
Yeah, I was gonna pick that, either that or K2SO.
Yeah.
Memorable deaths.
You'd have that top.
Yeah, it would be the top.
Paul, what about yourself? Which is the most memorable death, would you say?
Memorable. So, it's hard because, like, Kay holds off all those stormtroopers, and it's super sad. Like, you proper get the feels when he dies, just for a CGI character. But I quite like the Baze's character when he dies, because he gets all upset trying to save shoot it, and he takes down like about 4 or 5 Death Troopers, and then gets taken out by a grenade, and you can tell he's kind of at peace with himself, at peace with the Force.
He gets
And
his faith back, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Baze just to mess up your ranking.
I'm going to mess up even further by saying Andor and Jin. Just that moment when you can see the water coming in, and you know they're gone, and they're just clinging on to each other, and they're so young, and it's so sad to think that that's the end of their journey, and like there's not even a remains for them. They're just obliterated.
Right.
So,
Now, one thing we didn't discuss: this is the first Star Wars movie where the stormtroopers actually hit something. Right? Very successfully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they
Unless they're hitting.
killed a lot of rebels in Jeddah City, don't they? And in Scat.
The stormtrooper in A New Hope, he hit his head off the door. Does that count?
Yeah.
Right. So what's our least memorable one? Would we maybe say the pilot's death? Because there's just a grenade thrown into the ship.
Yeah, that was more.
Yeah.
I thought that was more comical than anything.
So is that bottom? is that our fifth? Is that our fifth one then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what about fourth? So we've mentioned Baze, Shiru, K2SO, and Andor. We'll do a majority vote. Is there anyone you'd throw in fourth place there?
Jen's mother.
She's not on the list.
Curveball.
Sakurera's death.
I thought about putting him in the list, but it didn't quite work. I kind of stuck to like the main group when I was doing it. So is there any takers for the fourth slot?
I'll say Andor.
You think fourth slot there?
Also, see when the shockwave's coming in and like Andor opens his eyes. Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Mm-hmm. Right. So we'll go.
The light comes.
Andor and Jin fourth. Third. So we're going Baze, Shiru. So K2SO, Shiru, and Baze. What order are we going? I personally think Shiru's death is more memorable than Baze's.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd agree to that.
Yeah.
So will we go Shiru first, K2SO, Baze, Andor, Jin, and the pilot?
Yeah.
No.
What are you saying then?
K, Baze, Shiru, Andor.
Yeah, the moment's passed anyway. Can I just say one last? Can I just say one last negative thing about the film? Do you not think the bit where they're like having to get the thing to connect it to the thing to connect it to the thing? Do you think that was a wee bit convoluted?
Yeah, it's a little overcomplicated. But
Yeah.
I'm just enjoying winding Paul up on this one.
Like I'm a telecom engineer, and they needed to do all that stuff.
Yeah, there's that. So I would say before me and Paul fall out and Seismic Cinema disintegrates, that'd be a place to start drawing things to a close. So we've looked at Andor, talked about our hopes. We've looked back on Rogue One. I'm really forgetting. I think for those who have made it to the end of the episode, what did I call the geeky dad earlier? The nerdy.
The nerdy father.
You better not change your screen name after this, by the way.
I might change the name of the show.
Or
I might start another show.
So is anything else you want to add about your work? Any shows that are or podcasts that are coming up in the near future? Any podcasts you've listened to recently that are great, apart from us, obviously? Just anything you want to say?
Yeah. I mean, I watch. I listen to a lot of podcasts, but I started a recent one. It's called like the Saturday morning podcast. They basically do a recap of an old Saturday morning cartoon,
Oh,
and they
nice.
just talk about it for the whole episode.
That sounds
Like,
fun.
yeah, so that's what I've been addicted to right now. They even have old commercials from the '80s intertwined between the episode.
That sounds quite
So, yeah.
fun.
Nice.
What have you got coming up? What are your next podcasts to look forward to?
Well, right now we're doing Sword and Sorcery month on the show, so probably next month is all October is all going to be like scary stuff. We're going to be doing
Spooky.
Halloween related stuff. That's about it. That's all
Very
I got
nice.
planned. Yeah.
Very nice. Daniel, what's going down in your neck of the woods?
Not much, just working, family. But I'll be coming to Dunoon.
Oh, nice.
And arriving Friday. I'm there for the weekend.
Oh, nice.
So I'll try and stop by and visit.
That'd be cool. So for context, the what do I call him?
What?
The nerdy father. Me and Daniel have never met before in person. Because he doesn't know the connection, so Paul goes out with Daniel's cousin. So I've only ever met Daniel through the video chat, because the last time we were on, I asked him how tall he was because I wasn't sure.
What shoe size are you, Daniel?
10.
Well,
You know what to say about man with big feet, big socks.
you watched any good shows recently, Daniel, or listened to any interesting podcasts?
Well, I've been watching the Power of the Rings, the Lord of the Rings TV show, and I've been watching House of the Dragon as well. So,
are you watching that?
yes, I've been catching up with those.
Oh, for some reason I thought you didn't like Game of Thrones.
I love Game of Thrones.
We need to get you on.
When you get yours.
I watched your podcast on Game of Thrones. So that's
We've been reviewing the House of the Dragon episodes. Well, that just gave me an idea for a good wee end segment to our show. We should just talk about shows we've been watching that are quite good, just to give each other ideas and people ideas.
Sounds.
Sorry, has anyone seen the Lord of the Rings TV show yet?
I watched the first episode.
I'm kind of waiting until they all come out and just binge it.
Okay. I won't give anything away. I was just wanting to hear people's thoughts on it. I'm not too overly enamored about it, to be honest. It's a bit
I've
underwhelming.
heard some mixed feelings about it from a lot of people.
Yeah.
House of the Dragon's epic, though, right?
Yeah, loving that.
Yeah.
Are you watching that, Rafa?
No, I have not yet. I'm also waiting to
good.
binge that all in one shot.
It's so good.
Don't watch it with your
Yeah,
No.
don't watch it with anyone. Yeah, just watch it by yourself. Once you've watched it, watch our review of the 4th episode and just watch us, particularly me, be really awkward at describing it.
Okay. Is there another incest sex scene in this one too?
No comment. What have I been watching? Obviously, House of the Dragon. I've been watching a football documentary. It's called Welcome to Wrexham. It's all about Ryan Reynolds is taking over a Welsh football.
I saw some previews for that. Yeah.
I've been watching that. I was watching She-Hulk, but I'm really thinking it's not that good. So I've kind of been.
No, so I won't even give it time of day.
No. It started off okay. The first episode was decent, I thought, but the 4th episode was like, I haven't watched the 5th episode yet because it just. Yeah.
I've been watching it. It's funny, but it's like over the top and a bit too. Yeah, it's not.
It does feel like a sitcom more than anything, you know.
I think that's what it's meant to be, but I just don't kind of feel like it's going anywhere personally. But
right, yeah. Yeah. And I really cannot stand the CGI. It just annoys me sometimes.
Yeah, look at the place.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I have promised my fiance I'm going to go visit her after this, so we better get finishing off. So,
When is the wedding, by the way?
July next year.
Oh, okay. Taking your
July
time.
next year.
Is
No,
that
that's
you for a invite, Rafa?
fair.
I would go. I need a reason to go to that part of the pond, right?
if you're in Scotland, give us a shout.
Yeah.
So,
By
are
the way,
you-
is it true that you guys all drink Guinness mostly?
no,
No.
Irish folk.
that's
Ah.
Irish. There's,
Oh, that's what I thought. Yeah.
We just drank Buckfast and Mad Dog.
Right. Oh, okay. I don't think I got that over here.
No, it's bad stuff. Don't do it.
You wouldn't want it either.
Over
It's
there.
horrible.
Yeah.
Stick
All
with
the beer in America is all watered down and not strong, in my opinion. So for all
Yeah.
the beers I've had overseas are all way more stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan's your man when it comes to the drink selection. You make cocktails as well, don't you, the craft?
Yeah. Yeah, I do okay.
Yeah, well, if I do go to that side of the pond, I'm gonna visit your bar.
And
Maybe I
come
can get a
visit-
free drink.
Please do, yeah. Please
Can I
do.
get a free drink?
Of course. Give me a couple.
Thank you. Thank you.
Come visit Dunoon as well. We see
Mhm.
South. We see
Rafa.
South Town.
Rafa, I'm dating his cousin and I can't even get a free drink.
Suppose you never come. You ever visit?
Paul's a hermit crab.
Oh, it's good. We just bought it some food at the pet store. But the problem is the two hermit crabs are fighting each other now.
No, Paul's not an actual hermit. Like, I mean, he doesn't leave his house very often. Nah, he does.
The pandemic.
On BT duty. So we're just going to do our wee bit of shameless plugging. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as Seismic Cinema. So please give us a follow. Our Twitter, in particular, continues to grow over 1,000 followers now. Instagram's, Paul, I don't know if you've noticed, Instagram's been jumping up a wee bit in the last wee week as well.
Does it? No.
You're also not paying attention, so. On YouTube, we're also Seismic Cinema. We've gained 4 new subscribers in the last week, so we're up to 62. We were struggling to make that 60 for ages, but we're really glad to make it up. And you can also listen to us on audio version on Anchor, Spotify, Good Pods, Apple Pods, Audible, Amazon Music. We still don't get a lot of views in general. I don't even know if Anchor tracks all those different platforms, but we put it on there anyway for people to listen to. So just like to thank Daniel and Raphael once again for joining us. Raphael, we hope we've not scared you off and that you might be up for coming on again in the future.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
We always say that to people when we're on air because they can't really say no.
No, it was horrible. I don't want to see you guys again.
Yeah, we like to think we're quite welcoming and quite easy to get on with. So, so we're Seismic Cinema. And Raphael, have you been doing your homework? Do you know what our slogan is?
Oh no. I didn't really listen to all the way to the end like that.
Oh,
I do listen, but I don't go all the way to the end. No.
Daniel, what does Daniel remember? I think he does because he's been involved in the artwork.
Yeah, the power of escapism.
Yes.
See, I remembered.
Yeah.
Although we're rebranding, we're gonna. I don't know how we're gonna do it, Paul. We said this last week. We're gonna up our Scottishness, and we are going to try and find that elusive niche because. But is that true? Do Americans pronounce niche? Like, how do you pronounce that word? Because I've seen this on different channels before.
It's not niche.
No, that's how like I would say it. But I've heard
I thought that's how we say it too. It's not niche.
I've heard of quite a few YouTubers call it a niche, and I'm like, what?
Wow. No,
No,
I've never heard that. I've never heard that.
Well, we're trying to find that anyway because we realise we're pretty generic and doing the same thing as other people, but that could be quirky. I don't know.
I don't know. I think you guys are already quirky because you give like the Scottish niche.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll sign off there. So if anyone made it to the end, thank you so much, and make sure
Right.
you subscribe and like, but also subscribe to the Geeky Dad Pod and the Geeky Dad After Dark Pod as well.
Right. I also have the Multiverse Kids show.
There we go.
Yeah.
We've only got one.
Yeah, it's hard work to keep all three. I might
Yeah.
might work myself less. I gotta have you guys on the show one day too.
Yes, let's do that.
Oh
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
that means your views are going to bomb.
Yeah, most probably.
Yeah.
Maybe I
So-
can, we'll have you when you get married. We'll have you like on the show. Because now you'll be like a husband. That's close to being a dad, I guess. You're one step away.
I could be the nerdy. I could be the nerdy husband.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Anybody here has kids?
Yeah, I have two kids.
Okay. So
two
now
daughters.
I can have him on the show now. I can't have you guys.
my fiance has kids, so I'm technically a step.
Yeah, well, once you get married, you'll be a dad then.
Yes.
Stepdad.
I've got dogs. I'm out.
Paul's got dogs. Yeah. Right. Well, it's been good chatting to you all. Let's look forward to Andor and make sure. Well, we'll definitely try and get you on at some point, maybe during the Andor run. But if not, jump on the comments, private message, and we can chat about how we're finding the show.
Yeah, once Andor's done, invite me back. I'll back. Why not?
Cool. Right. See you later on.
All right.
Yeah. See you guys.
Take care.
And thanks again. Really good having you both on.
No, thanks for having us.
Yeah, it was fun.
Rafa, it was nice to meet you.
Yes, me too. It was nice meeting you guys. I don't really get to talk to people across the pond that much, so it was nice.
Definitely.
I feel international now.
International businessman. Cool. Right. We'll head off.
Take care.